These two-faced early papier-mâché jack-o'-lanterns are very sought after. Ones in spectacular condition such as this one will fetch hundreds of dollars. They peaked in popularity in the 1950s, but they were very popular between the 1920s and 1940s. Many families still have these 1960s, 70s Corel dish sets. They're not worth a fortune, but they do sell. The floral edging is always a dead giveaway that it's Corel. The jadeite stacked elephants have some value. That ornate brass swag lamp appears that it may have come out of a church or a cathedral at some point. Many of these brass incense holders are vintage and can carry some value. It just depends on how ornate they are, what company made them, and what time frame they're from. Many of the incense burners you're seeing here were manufactured by a company called Vanteens. Although many were common, there were also quite a few I could only find photos of online, and there were no available options for sale. This collection has a nice mix of early 1900s furniture as well as some 1950s, 60s, mid-century thrown into the mix. Hubcaps to an old Volkswagen bus, I believe, and an early Mercedes grille. A lot of Buddha at this one. That's all brass. This is a 1970s Lee Burr. Is that cheetah or leopard? Seth Thomas mantle clock, worth about $150. This mid-century tension rod lamp is a real gem. Here's a comparable. This one sold for $500 plus. These 19th century chairs were in beautiful condition, and the woman had them reupholstered in a very tasteful fashion. And look at that craftsmanship. The Oriental nesting tables are really cool, but they're a specific taste, so they only sold for $60. Regardless of how old they are or exactly what pattern the borders are, these oval-shaped mirrors always sell. The turtle's a nice touch. Once again, a very specific style. However, the lamp is beautiful. The old see-through Radio Shack home phone. Classic. These old spectacles are often gold filled. 12 karat, 14 karat, whatever. But people are willing to pay more for them, and they're actually very collectible. The old upright radios, the RCAs, the Philcos, the Zeniths, they really don't sell as well as they used to, as that generation is slowly fading out. However, there's not a whole lot to them, and electrically speaking, as well as the tubes inside that burn out, can be replaced easily, and they do still sell to the right person for a little bit of money. The Leaning Gnome incense burner was one of the rarer ones in this collection, and sells for over $100. Started about $75 to $100. They had an incredible pipe collection. This is an old humidor, but some of the pipes they had online would sell for hundreds of dollars. That antique pincushion could sell for $50 plus online. Globes do well. Typically, the older the better, but there's so many variations of globes, and the more unique ones also do very well. You know, the light up globes, the ones that have those certain quirks to them. Something that's valuable that a lot of people don't think about being valuable are old yearbooks. They sell really well, honestly, online. Most old yearbooks you can get anywhere from $30 to $100 for, depending on the prominence and how significant it is to the individuals that need them. The people love old candelabras, especially a classy brass one such as this. Crystal pendants, beautiful. And God said, "Let there be light." The chests don't often sell right away. They sell usually towards the end. Usually for $50 to $100, unless it's something very special. I don't know why, but those tiger slippers get me all amped up. This three-way mid-century lamp sold for $150. The vanity also sold for $150. In Japan, they call these shoji, but they are typically referred to here as room dividers. They fold out. They're often high quality. However, finding somebody that has the space for one can sometimes be difficult, so they usually only sell for $100 to $300. Putting beside the fact that the items in the house itself were collectible, rare, and antique, the house itself was a beauty. The atmosphere itself can also help the sale. I mean, look at those beams.